I genuinely believe that the more advice we take and we seek, and the harder we try to look for answers, for the right answer, the more difficult it becomes to get it right. The more you lose yourself, the more you disconnect from that inner GPS that knows what is right for you. And I had so many examples in my life on how many times that happened and what it took to go back to myself and start hearing myself again. Because you get to a point where it's not that you've lost your intuition, it's not that you've lost clarity, it's not that you've lost your vision. You're used to being the one who can see clearly. So when you go through those stages where you can't, for me, that's not a sign that you lost your ability because I've seen it on myself. It's just a sign that there are too many voices in your head and you need to hear yourself again. That's honestly why I started this YouTube journey 94 days ago, and I've been posting every day since because I show up on here unscripted. It's just talk what I want to talk about. I don't edit my videos. I don't have like a structure. I have a few bullet points because perimenopause may lose my train of thought, but most of the times I don't even have bullet points. I just talk about what's alive, what's calling me, and doing that and showing up every day, doing that and building that capacity to trust myself. And I mentioned in the last video how the same pattern of listening to like outside advice and losing the connection with my body happened with me through dieting, body image, all of that. You can go watch yesterday's video for that. And how I've actually turned that around the most healing, beautiful way. And I'm applying that proof of concept because that worked. I'm applying that to my business and how I'm building right now because I have proof it works. And that's basically the path back to myself. And when you have too many voices in your head, you know it's time to like everybody out. And if you want to, for your signal to clearly come back online, for yourself to get back into focus, into knowing, into seeing clearly, into hearing yourself clearly, you know there will be a phase where you might stumble, you might fall, because it's been a while that you haven't followed your own needs, your own priorities, your own values. You haven't listened to yourself in a while because other things in life took over. It's a process, it's a humbling process, it's a healing process. And that's basically when you start to create enough silence to remember and hear what you sound like, what you need, what you want, how you want it, how you want to build it. Oh, wait a second. Let me see if we're recording. All right, we are. We are. There is a phase where it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because you're not sure you're hearing right, because you forgot. You're not sure. Am I getting this right? And the only way to know is to be willing to fail, be willing to get it wrong. You will get it wrong a few times, maybe multiple times, and that's okay. That's how you go back. That's how you go back to hearing yourself again. And the trick is staying with that uncomfortable stage long enough for things to turn around, for something to come back online, which is you. You ruthlessly trusting yourself and following the thing that's been calling and doing things your own way. As I said in the last video, I realized something deeper about how much I care about making this thing work. As I shared multiple times, when I left stable career to follow my own path, I was like, well, of course, it's going to be easy because if I was able to create all of this financial abundance, all of this, not just financial, like abundance in my life, just by following a career path that isn't even what lights me up, imagine how easy it would be to repeat that by doing the thing I love. Think again, Marina. How humbling that was. That's the proof that you can never be certain. You get certainty as you go after you start doing the things. And you can plan how much you want, but the plan surfaces as you're walking, as uncomfortable as it is. As much as we don't want that, the path, the map unfolds while you are walking. If you stop here, if you decide to stand here and to not make a move, to not make the next decision, to not take a leap until you 100% certain that things are gonna go the way you want and you planned, you will stay stuck here forever. That's something to come to terms with. The uncertainty is part of the map. It's the water, the lake, the ocean, the river. It's actually what makes the map, the soil fertile. Because if you think about it, what you can, as much as you are visionary, as much as you can envision so many beautiful, like a larger life, a bigger life with more, that is still limited to what you've experienced or you've listened or you watched, or maybe because you don't dare to dream even bigger. Sometimes I can tell you the detours in my life that I didn't plan and I wouldn't have consciously chosen for myself are the things that opened the biggest doors in my life. I could have never planned for it. If I could, if I lived a life where I planned every single step, my life would have been so predictable and I would have stayed small. Because the universe, God, can create something much greater that you can even fathom, even picture in your own mind. So you need to let space for magic. You need a little bit of surrender. Yes, you're going back to trusting yourself. That's number one. But trusting yourself doesn't mean you will be certain for the rest of your life. Trusting yourself means, okay, this scares me to death. I'm still going to do it. Because I trust that however things go, even if things don't go to plan, I got my own back. I can always turn things around. And maybe in the fact that things are not going to plan, it's pointing me to where I'm actually supposed to be going. I always look at detours that way because I've had too much proof in my life that that is the case. So it's natural for me now to trust it. Of course, it scares the bejesus out of me, but I've learned to trust the process more and more and more and more. And that's a muscle we all get to build. But how exciting that is. Even with this YouTube journey, you guys, I had no idea. I have no idea. I do have a plan. Yes, I do have goals. Yes, I would love for this channel to be monetized for my birthday. What a gift that would be. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. And I also don't want to put a date because who knows? Maybe that could happen in a week. Maybe that could happen in a month. Maybe that will happen much later. Doesn't mean I will give up. No, because the calling needs to be much bigger than metric, or for me, it's always about the emotional investment. the why. Is this something that lights me up? If it lights me up, I know that I can keep showing up until proof appears, until evidence, receipts appear. I know I can keep going. And I know I can stand the uncertainty, the uncomfortable stage for however long it is required, it is asked of me, because the I have made what I'm tapping into much bigger than the cost of being seen failing or falling or taking too long or wasting time or pivoting too often, whatever that looks like. I'm okay with paying that price, because the gift of one, who I'm becoming in the process, what I get to build alongside, is much greater. And the impact I know this will have, also because I'm stubborn. My conviction is that if you believe in something, if something is calling you, you get to build it and you get to live that life. If you stick with the process, the uncomfortable growing, building, rebuilding stage long enough. I am convicted. Convicted? Is that a word? Is that the word I want to use? I have full conviction in that, full belief in that. Does it make it less uncomfortable to be in that sticky phase of growth? No. Even if I believe that, I'm still human. I'm still scared. I'm still wondering, pondering, questioning. But eventually, what is greater internally and externally is the sense of rootedness, this anchor that I feel with myself. And that's why, going back to how we started this video, tuning out the noise. When you find yourself feeling confused, you're not confused. There are too many voices in here. You know, you now have too many voices in here. What your friends are saying, what your partner thinks, what your mentor told you, what someone else is doing, and what worked for them, and what society says you should be doing, and blah, 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 blah. That is a lot of noise we're carrying. And it's very easy to lose ourselves and to forget how to listen to ourselves when we let in all of that noise. And we absorb all of that. And I know we're surrounded by constant, nonstop noise. Boom, boom, boom. It's just like constant. So you need to become fierceless at protecting that space. That's why personally I've never managed to build a consistent meditation practice, prayer practice, meditation practice. That's why I'm going back to that. And I want to become as fierce, ruthless with that as I've been with showing up every day for YouTube. It needs to become, I know it needs to become a non-negotiable, because the bigger the thing you're trying to build, the more you need to build that trust in yourself, the more you need to hear yourself, the more you need to develop internal capacity. And for that, you need space. Even for creativity to flow, you need space. You don't need to consume more information, take more action, because you're probably already doing a lot of that. You need space to just kind of get bored, stay in silence. And I'm going to fiercely be protecting that space, because I've just realized how easy it is to slip back into those patterns where you start seeking the answers outside, looking, oh, this person is doing that, it's working, let me try that, let me try that, let me adopt that framework, let me that those are distractions from the assignment, and the way you're meant to be building this next season and enter this next season. Because as you're doing it, you're also building your own character, your own persona. You are stepping into that woman you have already an inkling for. In so many ways, you're already her. You just need to trust yourself to embody those aspects more. And the beautiful thing that I've experienced with the example of dieting and going back to just, as I said in the last video, I don't own a scale, haven't owned a scale for the last 15 years, haven't followed diets for the last 14 years. I eat what I want, whenever I want. That took trust to go back to trust in my body to give me the signals. I'm full. I want this. I want that. Enough. More. We went on a journey. But I'm so glad we did because the place where I'm at, sorry, oof, a finished water, but just wanted to make this point. I want heavy weight, but what I was saying, the place where I'm at is delicious. Is I realize how precious that is because I'm surrounded by people who still don't trust their own body signal. People that don't need to have restrictions because they're healthy, but they're forcing themselves into rules. Who said? Like we're all so different. Our bodies are different. Your body already knows what it needs, how much it needs it, when it needs it, what combination of food it needs. The same goes for every other area of life. And that is the proof of concept, what worked, what really worked, and what I'm translating now into how I run my business, how I build this next chapter. And the beautiful thing is that once you tune back into that voice, you don't need even that moment of translating the signal anymore because it's immediate. It's hard to explain. It's so embodied that there is no thinking. There is no pondering. There is no wondering. There is, have I heard you right? It is what it is. That's so freeing, but it's so freeing because it's so natural. That's our natural state to be so in tune with ourselves. Takes a process, takes healing, takes growth, takes challenge, takes a lot, but it's so worth it. I wouldn't do life any other way. If you feel like you have a rebel soul, you're not cut to fit into boxes, follow the rules, build the conventional path, have the stable conventional, follow the stable conventional career. You want to have it all, and to have it all your own way, to build and carve your path your own way. I really hope you get back into conversation with, you get back to hearing yourself. You get yourself back in focus. That's a sentence that is on the page where I talk about the one-on-one immersion that I'm offering right now. The link is in the description. I love that sentence because you've always been clear. You're the one who usually can see very clearly. But now there's this thing you really want to do, really want to change, really want to build, but you can't see it clearly. It's blurry. That's new to you. And I know I've been there. It's frustrating. And that's usually a sign that there's been too many voices telling you to go left, go right, turn left, next exit, wait. And it's now time to go back to listening to yourself. This immersion is now 50% off. I want for as many of you who feel called to get back into focus, get back into hearing yourself, to take advantage of that and get support with that. Link is there. If this resonated, give it a like, comment below, tell me what landed for you. And you guys, I will see you tomorrow.